Hello everyone, James Crocker here with Crocker Realty. People often ask me, James, what do I need to do to get my house ready for sale? It's probably one of the most commonly asked questions I get from an individual that's thinking about selling their home. So I want to make a quick video and go over a few items that you should do to your house if you are thinking about selling your home. Some of these may or may not apply to you depending on how good of condition your home is already in. A couple things to keep in mind. Right now in Denver, it's 2020. We're in a seller's market. So you want the house to look nice. You want it to be emotionally appealing to buyers, but you can get away with a little bit more than you can in a buyer's market when there are tons of homes on the market and not very many buyers. Right now we're in an opposite situation where there are lots of buyers and not a lot of houses, which means that there's more competition and houses are selling more quickly. You don't have to compete with as many other people that are selling their homes. However, these things that I'm going to go through should be done regardless, because when a buyer sees your house and walks into that house and feels emotionally drawn to it, they're going to be more likely to buy it, and they're also going to be more likely to spend more money for it. It could potentially create a multiple offer situation depending on the house. So what I always tell people is you want to do simple things. You don't want to go in and spend $30,000 remodeling your kitchen if you're only going to get $15,000 of that back. You always want to do things that are going to at least get the money back that you spent on them and ideally make a profit. So for example, if it cost you $5,000 to put new carpet in and it got you an extra $10,000 for your house, obviously that's worth doing. So there are 7 things I'm going to go through that I recommend that pretty much everybody do to prep their home for sale. This is kind of a bare bones list. So number 1, improve your landscaping if you haven't done so already. Curb appeal is really important. When a buyer and their real estate agent pull up to the front of the house, if the grass is in bad shape or the bushes are overgrown, it just immediately creates the impression that, hey, I'm not taking good care of my house. And people do not want to buy something that hasn't been well taken care of. A car is a good example. If you know that the person that owned that car before you ran the tar out of it, for lack of a better word, you probably don't want to buy that car, right? And the same is true with the house. People want someone that want to buy a house that's been well taken care of. So when they pull up to the front of the house and they see that the house is in great shape, they're going to be more emotionally drawn to it, and they're going to think, okay, this person has pride of ownership. They've taken care of the property. So make sure that the lawn is in really good shape. Mow the lawn, prune the bushes. If you have flowers or plants or something like that, take care of that. Just make sure that the front of the house looks really nice. Secondly, and this kind of goes along with the number 1, number 2 is cleaning the outside of the home. Sometimes with certain types of siding, like vinyl siding, or even brick in some cases, the house can get dirt and debris on the front of the house or even on the sides and the back of the home just from the wind and the elements and things like this. It's very common for me to see, like around the front door, kind of maybe up under the porch, a lot of dust and dirt and things like that. Just get out there and spray that stuff off. Again, this kind of goes along with the lawn. It's really easy to do. It's if you have a hose with a nozzle on it that creates a little bit of power, or a pressure washer, it's 15 or 20 minute job, maybe longer depending on the size of the house, but it's usually going to be pretty easy to get that done, and it's going to make the house look nicer when someone walks up to the front of it. You want to create that positive impression before the buyer even walks through the front door. Number 3, make repairs. So you don't want to go too crazy with it, but you want to cover the basics. If you have a garage window that's cracked, or any windows on the house are cracked, or the roof is just completely shot and you know that the buyer is going to ask you to replace it, contact your insurance company. If it has hail damage, get that taken care of first. Just make basic repairs that are going to make the house look better. When I say repairs, I don't mean go remodel your entire kitchen. That's usually not going to be a good idea. As far as repairs are concerned or upgrades are concerned, the 2 upgrades that are going to get you the most bang for your buck are going to be carpet and paint. And that's actually the next one on my list. Take the color down a notch. So if you have, this is number 4, if you have lime green walls and purple bedroom walls and unnatural colors all over the place, that may appeal to you, and there may be a small group of people that like the colors that you've chosen, but most people don't want to have to go into that house and repaint. A lot of people that I've talked to are under the impression, well, any buyer that buys my house is going to have to come in and paint. And a lot of times people will paint their house white because they think that the buyer is going to have to come in and paint. Most buyers don't want to deal with that, okay? They want to just move in and live their life, okay? The vast majority of people do not want to deal with coming in and painting. So if you have unnatural colors in your house, it would be a very good idea to paint your house a neutral color. A couple of options would be beige. A very light beige is always good. Killam beige is a Sherwin-Williams paint color. It's a really good color, something I recommend. A lot of home flippers use that color. It goes well with like darker floors, darker carpet. If you have like lighter colored floors or like grayish colored hardwood floors or laminate flooring, then you might want to go with a light gray. But if you have unnatural colors in your house, painting the walls is going to be a really good idea. Do not paint it white. Do not paint it white. Paint it light gray or beige. Just trust me on this. White is not good because most buyers are going to have to come in there and paint, and it doesn't make the house look good. You want something that's a little bit warmer, all right? Number 5, declutter and depersonalize. So this is probably one of the most important items. You want to allow the buyer to envision their things in the house, number 1. They don't want to see pictures of your family. They want to imagine their family there. The buyers that want to buy your house might be of a different religious denomination than what you are. They may be turned off by whatever religion you are for whatever reason. To each his own, but you just have to realize that some people are not going to react well to religious items, family pictures and things like this. They want to envision their things in there. So it's really important to remove those items. It's also important to declutter and minimize everything in the house. You want the house to look bigger. If you have, like for example, if you have a bedroom and it's just crammed full of furniture and there's just barely room to walk around in there, it makes the bedroom seem smaller than what it actually is. In that circumstance, you might want to remove a couple of pieces of furniture or maybe even have a smaller bed in that room if it's possible to do so. So you want to just minimize things as much as possible. You want the basics. My stager, told me in most cases you want no more than 1 item per surface. So this is a general rule, but like on your kitchen countertops, you want to have a couple things just so that it doesn't look completely empty, but you don't want it just loaded with appliances and all kinds of knickknacks and all those kinds of things. You want it to be very simple. The same is true with your furniture. If you have, a couch, a love seat, and 3 chairs in your living room, and shelving and a TV, entertainment center, all these things, it starts to really just look like there's too much going on. Really, you just want, if you have a regular sized living room, you just want a couch, a love seat, or maybe a couch and a chair, and then a TV or something like this. Just very, very simple. You want to remove as many items as possible while still leaving some items in the home to make it look like it's a place that someone would want to live in or that someone is currently living in. The next item is to eliminate bad odors. Okay, if you guys have pets, cats, dogs, birds, whatever it is, this is the big one. You got to clean up after that's them. You got to clean that litter box more often than what you normally would. You got to make sure that you drop some air fresheners in there. Whatever you need to do, that's going to be really important. People with pets, if I'm a home buyer, I have allergies to cats. So if I'm looking at a house and I'm buying a house and I see there's a cat in there, I'm out. It's over for me. So maybe it would be a good idea for me not to know that you have a cat, right? I think that's something that as a seller you should be disclosing to the buyer at some point in time, but maybe not on the front end. You don't really want, in a perfect world, they don't even know that you have animals in the house because some people are going to be turned off by that and they're out the door. You want to appeal to as many buyers as possible. If you have 10 people look at your house over the course of a weekend and 2 of them want to buy it versus 1 of them wanting to buy it, that's going to maybe get you more money for the house. Every little bit helps. So definitely neutralize any bad odors. Have the carpets cleaned if necessary. Potentially have the carpets replaced if they're in really bad shape. You got to take the pets out of there when you're doing showings. Things like that are going to make a big difference. It's never convenient selling a house, you guys. It's always a process. It's never a fun process. But doing these things are going to make a big difference. The last item I have on my list is making every surface shine. I always tell people you should feel like you can eat off any surface in that house. You should feel like you can eat out of the kitchen sink. You should feel like you can eat off the floor. Not that you would do that, but you want that house to be so clean that anyone that's in there thinks that it's been well taken care of, and that it's a safe place for them to be. It smells good, it looks good, it's clean, it's going to be more emotionally appealing to people. People are going to be more likely to buy it. So, there are going to be circumstances where this list is going to be larger or smaller depending on your home. If you are thinking about selling your home and you would like myself to come out and take a look at your property and give you some tips in addition to what I just went through, I'd be happy to do that. You're welcome to reach out to me anytime. My name is James Crocker. Crocker Realty, my number is 720-235-7388. Your goal in most cases when selling a home, and my goal when I help my clients, is to get as much money as possible for the house. Doing all these things is a headache, but getting as much money as possible for the house is really important. If you can get an extra $10,000 or $15,000 for your home by doing these things, it's absolutely worth it. So again, have a great day, everybody. If I can be of service, give me a call anytime, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.